Good evening. My name is Francis MUSAKALI. Tonight, we have our top stories lined up for you, ready for broadcast. And of course, my sign language interpreter tonight happens to be Phyllis Mirikwa, and we want to start. We want to start with parliamentary proceedings that were happening today. Of course, there was drama in the National Assembly today following the remarks made by Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah on demonstrations. The legislators were debating on the alleged police brutality during the anti-government protests. When Ichung'wah rose to condemn the organizers, he said there is a need for the leaders, especially those from Luo Nyanza, to be role models, and this sparked protests. Let's listen in.
Honorable Speaker, it's rather unfair to give me a minute and not allow me to speak when Honorable Millie Odhiambo continues shouting. But I was saying this, Honorable Speaker, because you are shouting for me not to tell you the truth, but I'll speak the truth to you. As leaders from Luo Nyanza, you must lead from the front. You must stop mobilizing your people to death. You must say enough is enough and no more bloodshed. How many liters of blood do you want? For you to be able to negotiate yourselves in power, you shall no longer use bloodshed to negotiate yourselves into power. No more bloodshed in this country to negotiate yourselves.
Order. Order, members.
Of course, this went on for the majority part of the discussions and the parliamentary proceedings. Of course, we'll bring you more and more details in just a short while. In the meantime, major service, online service in the Kenya Power Company's systems are presently inaccessible. Now, the state of agency, or rather the state agency, announced a system failure today, saying customers using M-Pesa or the USSD code are unable to purchase tokens due to what it terms as a network breakdown. A section of the statement is on your screen, and it reads: "We are experiencing a system hitch due to a network breakdown from our service provider. Consequently, one or some of our services, such as the purchase of prepaid tokens through M-Pesa and USSD code 977 hashtag, are unavailable." The electricity provider also insisted, or rather instead urged its customers to access the same services from authorized banks or Airtel Money as alternatives. The statement by the company comes amid protest on reports of the e-Citizen online platform that has been hacked. Information, Communication and Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo confirmed a cyber attack on the platform, thereby crippling most government operations. And let's move on. Teachers have been affected by deductions of their July salaries due to the National Security Fund deductions. Now, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers in Vihiga County, along with other unions of Kenya, in the Union of Kenya Civil Servants, lodged complaints about this issue in a statement that is dated 27th of July. That's today's date, which means they must have received their salary yesterday, which I'm going to show in just a minute. But most of the affected teachers stated around 6% of their take-home salary was missing. This is the statement. It says, "We have learned that all our members have suffered an NSSF contribution deduction of a tune of 360 bob. This deduction has come at a time when members of our members were eagerly waiting for the 7 to 10% increase." In their basic salary. And of course, it's something that we will want to look at. And of course, teachers all over the country, it's surprising because most of them were expecting an increase, yet they got a deduction. We have more details and more stories coming up in just a short while, including international sightings of the UFO, unidentified flying objects, which the USA has apparently denied, and many people are coming to blow the whistle against them. Let's take a short break. We'll be back in just a short while. Welcome back, followers on our YouTube channel Imani Television Kenya, and of course on our Facebook page Imani Television, where we're live at the moment. And of course we will be sharing our contacts there. That is 0746780588. Now in Busia County, students from disadvantaged families in Busia who have faced long distances to reach schools have a reason now to smile and rejoice after they were provided with bicycles to facilitate their journey to school without any difficulties. The absence of adequate transportation options, especially for those residing in remote areas, has severely affected the education of female day school students, causing them to prematurely abandon their pursuit of knowledge. Now, the provision of bicycles aims to address the challenges and more challenges that they face in their pursuit for education and without hindrance. Of course, let's listen in to that story.
Students from disadvantaged families in Busia who face long distance to reach school have been bestowed with a reason to celebrate. In Our Lady of Mercy Busia Girls High School, Busia Town, these 50 girls who have been struggling to get to school now have a reason to smile as they are being given bicycles by the Grow Against Poverty Kenya organization. This initiative is aimed at helping them with transportation to school, reducing the challenges they have been facing in getting to school.
I really cover 8 kilometers from school to home. I thank this Gap Kenya because these bicycles will help us to come early and will improve in our studies.
I've been covering a distance of 7 kilometers. Sometimes I may go home and reach at home late.
These bicycles are really helping us because for me, I cover like 7 kilometers from home to school.
Esther Wanyama, the head teacher of the school, revealed that approximately 500 students from the day school come from far distance, often facing difficulties in reaching school, especially during the rainy season. The provision of bicycle is seen as a great blessing to the students and their parents, many of whom come from humble backgrounds.
By bringing these bicycles, actually it is a blessing. Some of them, and especially when even the parents have no money to put them on border borders, we find that they don't come to school.
Most of them come from very humble backgrounds, and you find for most of them even paying the lunch money is a problem.
The initiative, which cost 1.5 million Kenya shillings, has already benefited 7 schools, with 350 buffalo bicycles being distributed to students.
Watoto wetu wa kike wengi wanaomba lift kutoka kwa wenzetu ambao wanaendesha pikipiki za bodaboda, na wanapoendesha hizo pikipiki wanashauriwa, wanapewa vishawishi ya kwamba kama hawawezi kulipa, wanaweza kulipa kupitia kwa kufanya urafiki wa kimapenzi na hawa bodaboda. Na hiyo ni hatari sana, manake mwanafunzi hawezi tulia darasani.
We know the problems with bodaboda and kids taking matatu in the morning. This is not an advanced town like Nairobi where kids just jump on the matatus and they are free to go.
Parents have praised the program, expressing hope that the number of students who miss school due to transportation challenges will now decrease.
Hizi baiskeli zitafanya mambo ya absenteeism itapunguka kwa sababu watakuwa wanakuja kwa wakati, wasome, na hali kadhalika pia itawapunguzia ile hali ambayo wangekuwa kwa barabara wakikutana pengine na wale watu ambao wanaweza wapatia mambo ambayo yanaweza wapotosha.
Reporting for Imani Television, Shilo Jadida.
Thanks, Shilo. She says that most of them can actually ride the bicycles. Now, female prisoners in Kakamega have been registered to join the women's group of the Catholic Church that was established to provide training on living a balanced life and developing them in faith. Also, donors have been asked to give their donations, while members of the community are asked not to discriminate female prisoners. Let's listen in.
We had the inmates receiving the sacrament of confirmation, and then again commission of the women inmates into the Catholic Women Association. Hiyo inaonyesha ya kwamba licha ya sisi kurekebisha wafungwa hawa kwa mambo ya ulimwengu huu, bado tunawalea kwa njia ya Kikristo ili pia kiroho wakakuzwe na kuwa na maadili mema. Yote pia walipotutembelea wametuletea msaada kwa vile vitu ambavyo wamama hawa wanahitaji wakiwa gerezani, kwa sababu wengi wao hawatembelewi wakiwa wamefungwa mahali hapa. Kwa hivyo tunahitaji msaada wa vitu kama sabuni ambayo wameletewa na bishop pamoja na Wakristo wa Katoliki. The community outside, when these inmates are released from prison, please accept them back because they are now reformed and they are ready to join the community back. Wakiwa mahali hapa wanafunzwa mambo mengi kama kutengeneza vikapu, kushona nguo, kutengeneza beadwork. Kama siku ya leo tumeona wametengeneza fruit baskets, wametengeneza fireless cookers na vitu vingi ambavyo wanatengeneza, ambavyo wakitoka kule nje wanaweza kuviuza, kutengeneza na kuuza na kuendelesha maisha yao ili wasirudi katika maisha yao ya uhalifu. Wao tunasema asante sana, imekuwa siku njema na tunashukuru Mungu kwa hayo.
Kenyans have been urged to assist ex-convicts settle back into the community once they have settled their jail term. Officers in charge of Kakamega Women's Prison Doreen and Baka and the others, and the Catholic Church Bishop Joseph Obanyi, spearheading efforts to reintegrate former convicts into the society, said they should be given a chance to rebuild their lives and settle back into the communities. Of course, let's listen in.
The community outside, when these inmates are released from prison, please.
Of course, that is the same story, and of course they had a confirmation mass, what many people say is a sacrament also of the Catholic Church. Now, according to reports, Samburu County leads in early pregnancy of and FGM rates with 50%. With more than 50% cases recorded in the country. This has resulted into the implementation of strategies to deal with it. More than 200 youths have been trained in a 3-day workshop to fight female genital mutilation, and it is reported that early pregnancy is the main cause of girl-child displacement from school. The men's group against FGM, in collaboration with UNICEF's Samburu Youth Program, Frank Leseketi, say they are involving the leaders in setting up policies and budgets for the youths who are in need. Let's listen in.
Tuko hapa Samburu kuongelesha vijana namna wanaweza husishwa katika masuala ya kutengeneza policies na budget advocacy at county level, ili tuweze kuhakikisha kwamba counties zimetenga resources katika kupigana vita dhidi ya ukeketaji, mimba za mapema na ndoa za mapema. Kampeni hii ambayo inaitwa Sasa ni Sisi imefadhiliwa na UNICEF Kenya wakishirikiana na Men and FGM, na inafanyika katika counties za West Pokot na Samburu County kwa muda wa miezi 6. Kulingana na KDHS report ambayo imetolewa hivi majuzi, takwimu zinaonyesha kwamba rates za FGM katika Kenya zimepungua kutoka 21% mnamo mwaka 2014 hadi 15% sasa, ila katika kaunti ya Samburu imepungua kiasi kidogo kilinganishwa na katika Kenya. Katika Samburu kwa sasa inaripotiwa kwamba 75.6 ya wasichana na kina mama ambao wako na umri wa miaka 15 hadi 49 wamepitia ukeketaji.
Samburu County, takwimu zinaonyesha kwamba ukeketaji umekithiri mno, ndoa za mapema na mimba ya watoto imezidi. Kwa hiyo sisi kama vijana tukishirikiana na Men and FGM kama shirika kwa ufadhili wa UNICEF Kenya, tunasema sasa ni sisi ambao tunaweza kukataa ukeketaji.
And let's head in Eldoret town, where Governor Jonathan B. of Uasin Gishu County has issued a directive to county officers ordering them to wear official uniforms and use respectful language when engaging with residents. This decision comes in response to frequent complaints from business owners who claim to be harassed by the county officers. This new directive aims to improve conduct of county officers and ensure they interact with the public in a professional and respectful manner. Additionally, Governor B expressed concerns over individuals who have been dismissed from their jobs but still impersonate county officers to harass the residents. Let's listen in.
Kuna vitu lazima tuongee ukweli, na kama kiongozi utaongoza nani na watu wanaumia. Na nimekuja hapa nikuje nisikize hii town si kwa kina mtu. Hii town imejengwa na wafanyabiashara, na mfanyabiashara kutoka ule mdogo mpaka ule ya koropa wote ni wafanyabiashara. So nataka tukubaliane kwamba yale nimesikia, especially harassment, hiyo inakuja kwangu mimi, kwa sababu lazima nijue why are you harassing a hawker or a trader or a matatu man. It could be kwa sababu hiyo docket iko kwa within ya enforcement hiyo. Mimi
a section of leaders, Kenya Kwanza leaders specifically from Western Kenya, have held that any talks should be people-centered and not individualistic, led by UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala. The leaders say no one can hold the president hostage for talks. Sabatia Member of Parliament, Clement Lawyer, says that farming will enable the youths also to be busy and reduce cases of crime. Now, the leaders were speaking in Vihiga, where they were distributing fertilizers to farmers. Let's listen.
Wengine ni wageni ndio wanaingia. Na mimi pia nichukue fursa hii kumkaribisha DCC wetu wa Sabatia, kwa sababu hajakaa hapa siku mbili. Tunamkaribisha. Sabatia ni mahali ambapo utajisikia uko pamoja na wananchi na watakupenda zaidi, na mimi kama MP wako tutashirikiana na wewe kufanya kazi hii pamoja. Jana usiku kumetokea na visa 2 za ugaidi. Kuna watu ambao wamekatwa kwa manyumba zao hapa Igunga, katikati ya Igunga na Vialo. Kuna mtu amefungwa kwa kitanda yake na amenyang'anywa kifungu ya gari, pesa, na gari yake wakati tunaongea saa hii gari yake imeenda. Na sana sana hawa ni watu ambao wanatoka nje, kwa sababu Sabatia hatuna visa vya watu wa magaidi. Mimi nataka nitoe ilani kwa vyombo zetu za usalama. Tafadhali, tunataka mfuatilie mambo haya, kwa sababu hii ni kitu ambayo sasa imeanza kuendelea. Watu wakae shambani wapande mahindi. Wakati sisi tunaingia shambani, tunapanda mahindi, tunatumia mbolea, itashukisha visa vya ugaidi hapa ndani ya Vihiga. Lakini Sabatia hii yetu lazima kuna jambo lazima litendeke. Mimi nataka kupongeza chiefs na assistant chiefs. Wamekuwa wakitengeneza barazas za kuhimiza wananchi ambao wanaishi ndani ya Vihiga na Sabatia ili kukua mstari wa mbele, kukua katika mashamba zao, kuhakikisha ya kwamba tunatengeneza kitu ambaye inaitwa food security. Kwa hivyo, kwa hayo mengi na machache, mimi nataka kupongeza serikali yetu, kwa sababu ni serikali ambayo inaweka ahadi, na mimi nataka kuhimiza viongozi wetu tushikane. Vile tumeshikana kuleta mbolea hii, tushikane kwa mambo ya maendeleo, ili tuhakikishe ya kwamba Vihiga pia iko kwa map ya Kenya kama county ambayo iko na viongozi wa kueleweka, wale viongozi wa kuongea na
Border riders in Homa Bay are complaining about their safety while they do their work, especially in the night in Homa Bay town and its surrounding areas. The riders are worried that if quick security measures are not taken, the sector will be greatly affected. Modi Allen tells us more.
This is an event that has caused fear among border operators, as incidents of insecurity has been reported to increase daily.
In the line of duty as the chairman, we as an industry, we have been having such cases happening. And normally when such cases happen, we normally do our investigation. And we partner with the police body in doing investigation. I'm sure that our guys are nowadays so careful, because the attack that happened to our brother Joseph, they came to his home. Normally our attacks happen along the road.
According to their chairman, these attacks mostly occur at night.
It is true that we have some bit of insecurity with these border people. Some of them are internal, but some of them are also coming from people who target them. People who target the motorcycles with the aim of robbing and stealing. And we have had incidences in the past where even some of the riders have been attacked and even killed. And the motive is to rob them of the bicycles.
Homa Bay town has approximately 1,000 border riders, and a police is now being made to the security authorities in this area of Homa Bay to help strengthen security. Reporting for Imani Television, I'm Emodia Al.
Well, let's take a look at some sports news. Commonwealth Games will be taking place in Trinidad and Tobago on August 4th, and the Kenya Under-18 rugby team has been named to participate. Of course, they will be heading, or rather they've started their preparations and practice to head over to the competition. Let's listen.
I've looked at the matches. I've done again my analysis. If you look at all the teams, of course, they have development side. One of the things that maybe people or Kenyans do not know is we have development squads. We've always had development, but we've never had a national team. So this is the first national ever, under 18. We've never been out there to expose ourselves. And as the boss has said, of course, we are going for exposure. But the girls, they've gone through the ranking. They've gone through...
FIFA and Football Kenya Federation is set to launch the Football for Schools program, an initiative that is set to benefit Kenya primary schools. The program, joint initiative with United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, that is UNESCO, kicks off on Friday in Kakamega County with 3 football and life skills sessions for 50 coaches and educators. A section group of teachers drawn from all the 47 counties who have an interest in primary school footballs have been urged to participate. Let's listen. And of course that is going on. Let's take a look at some international sports news, starting with this: Kylian Mbappe. Now, Kylian Mbappe is not interested in meeting representatives from Al Hilal to discuss a move to Saudi Arabia. PSG has given or had given Al Hilal permission to speak to Mbappe after the Saudi club made a world record, get this, 300 million euros offer to the player on Saturday. These are the images, and of course representatives of Al Hilal have been in Paris this week, but there has been no meeting with Mbappe's camp. PSG insiders believe that Mbappe is refusing to speak to Al Hilal because he has already agreed to move to Real Madrid as a free agent next summer, when his contract expires. Al Hilal's offer was subject to agreement of the payment schedule, and it was conditional on the signing of the contracts between the clubs and between Mbappe and Al Hilal. PSG believe that at least 5 clubs are interested in signing Mbappe. The offer from Al Hilal is not the only one the French champions have received. They say to have already been a hot market for the France captain, with interested clubs including Chelsea, Manchester United, Tottenham, Inter and Barcelona. And of course, we are also talking about international news today. We apologize for that pictorial and video misbite on your screens just a few moments ago. Let's start with Niger. And of course, there's a coup that is happening in Niger, a country, the West African country. Of course, the coup that happened there has everyone speaking, including the international leaders, and this is it on your screen. Now, world leaders have reacted to the definition of Niger's president, or the detention of Niger's president Mohamed Bazoum in the presidential complex by members of the elite unit in a coup attempt.
I spoke with President Bazoum earlier this morning and made clear that the United States resolutely supports him as the democratically elected president. We call for his immediate release. We condemn any effort to seize power by force. We're actively engaged with the Niger government, but also with partners in the region and around the world. We'll continue to do so until the situation is resolved appropriately and peacefully.
Nigeria's Balak Zombu, the new head of the regional bloc ECOWAS, said Wednesday that Benin's President Patrice Talon is traveling to Niger to mediate the meeting between the two leaders in Abuja.
Tous les moyens seront utilisés au besoin.
All means will be used, if necessary, to restore constitutional order in Niger, but ideally everything should happen in peace and harmony. Even when what is not acceptable is done, it is necessary that in peace we can correct this. This is our first option. We think it will be successful.
In a message posted on the famous Twitter platform renamed now X, Niger's president says democratic gains will be safeguarded as all Nigerians will be who love democracy and freedom will see to it. Now, the president guard on Wednesday fired guns to disperse protesters from Bazoum and Bazoum supporters who were outside the presidential complex in the capital. Now, what if I tell you that unidentified flying objects, commonly known as UFOs, were real? What if I told you today that there could be evidence that could point to the United States government hiding in plain sight evidence of unforeseen or rather unidentified flying objects in the skies from as late or as early as 2005? Well, these are just happening, and the news just in, and many people are talking about it. Just after the transparency, and of course, or rather just after what people have been looking for. These are the images on your screen of this man.
I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program, to which I was denied access to those additional read-ons when I requested it. I made the decision, based on the data I collected, to report this information to my superiors and multiple inspectors general, and in effect becoming a whistleblower. As you know, I've suffered retaliation for my decision, but I am hopeful that my actions will ultimately lead to a positive outcome of increased transparency.
Now, it doesn't end there. The story is about to get even more mysterious. Now, Grash says US has been aware of non-human activity since 1930s and even accused the US of trying to shut him up when he tried to raise an alarm.
I have to be careful what I say in detail because there is an open whistleblower reprisal investigation on my behalf, and I don't want to compromise that investigation by providing anything that may help provide somebody information. But it was very brutal and very unfortunate, some of the tactics they used to hurt me both professionally and personally, to be quite frank. Yeah.
Well, guess what? David Grush is not the only one. There are others who have testified against the US government as well. Former Navy pilot Ryan Graves says UFO sightings are not a rare phenomenon. Retired Navy Commander David Freiberg also says the claim.
UAP are in our airspace, but they are grossly underreported. These sightings are not rare or isolated, they are routine. Military aircrew and commercial pilots, trained observers whose lives depend on accurate identification, are frequently witnessing these phenomena. The stigma attached to UAP is real and powerful and challenges national security. It silences commercial pilots who fear professional repercussions, discourages witnesses, and is only compounded by recent government claims questioning the credibility of eyewitness testimony.
As we looked around, we noticed that we saw some whitewater off our right side. It's important to note that the weather on this day was as close to perfect as you could ask for off the coast of San Diego. Clear skies, light winds, calm seas, no whitecaps from waves. So the whitewater stood out in the large blue ocean. All four of us, because we were in F-18Fs, so we had pilots and Wizzo in the back seat, looked down a saw a white tic-tac object with a longitudinal axis pointing north-south and moving very abruptly over the water like a ping-pong ball.
Fravor recounted his encounter with a tic-tac shape UAP in 2004. Now, a UAP stands for Unexplained Anonymous Phenomena, and these witnesses say the US has not only spotted UFOs, but illegally withheld the information from Congress.
Parts of our government are aware of more about UAP than they let on, but excessive classification practices keep crucial information hidden. Since 2021, all UAP videos are classified as secret or above. This level of secrecy not only impedes our understanding, but fuels speculation and mistrust.
These testimonies were delivered before a House Oversight Subcommittee. Lawmakers and witnesses are now asking the government to be more transparent about UFOs. They said that the extraterrestrial objects could be a potential national security threat.
We need to tell the folks at the Pentagon they work for us. Dadgummit, we don't work for them. And that's exactly the point. This is an issue of government transparency. We can't trust a government that does not trust its people. We're not bringing little green men or flying saucers into the hearing. Sorry to disappoint about half y'all. We're just going to get to the facts. We're going to uncover the cover-up, and I hope this is just the beginning of many more hearings and more people coming forward about this.
Here, the Democrats and Republicans are pushing for more research, but if there's any truth to these claims, it may be more the beginning of a nightmares turning into realities in days to come. That's just it for News Tonight. Thank you for watching News Now. My name is Francis MUSAKALI. Phyllis Miriko has been our sign language interpreter tonight. See you.